Like, he'll come out of it, yeah? You know, I can't believe I'm actually saying it, but yes, I do think he will. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 18 of the regular season, where the Astros lose 6-1 to the Atlanta Braves, following a 4-run ninth-inning implosion by Josh Hader, and we will get to that in a brief minute. To talk about the rest of the game beforehand, wasn't great. Altuve and Bregman had really good games. Altuve had 3 hits again. 4 3-hit games in the past 5 games played for Jose Altuve, if I'm not mistaken. He is a absolute freak of nature. He's batting over 400, guys. Like, last night, I talked about how crazy he was. And the night before that, I talked about how crazy he's been. His WRC plus is approaching, like, 300. It's goofy. It is goofy. He is currently at a 403 average and almost a 1200 OPS. It's stupid. Stupid how good Jose Altuve has been. Bregman with a really good game. Pair of base hits. He had the RBI tonight. The rest of the offense couldn't cut it. I understand the ninth inning went very, very awry, but one run just isn't going to do it. And this isn't one run in the way of like, oh, well, they had, 16 hits, so they got unlucky. No, they just couldn't do much. Like, it was just a bad offensive game. You can't even hide behind they had a ton of hits and just couldn't string them together. This was just a bad offensive game. Pitching-wise, you had Arrieta, who was, not great, but not as bad as it could have been. 4 innings of 2-run ball, which is one of the better starts over the past 2 weeks for the Astros. Like, that's kind of good God. You had Seth Martinez bouncing back from last night. He picked up a pair of strikeouts in a shutout inning. Then you had Montero on his little redemption run, going inning and 2/3 scoreless. Nothing too shabby out of him. Brian Abreu came in, went an inning and a third scoreless. Nothing too shabby out of him. Then you get to the 9th inning, and Josh Hader completely ate it. 4 earned runs in 1/3 of an inning. Did get a strikeout. Did get that. Bielak came in for 2/3. Hader's ERA is at 9.39. And that's where I want to talk a lot in this video about, because people have been on Josh Hader a lot and riding him of, oh my God, he's been terrible. It's going to be just as bad as Montero. What is this deal? And I get it. It's easy to say that when your big offseason acquisition has a 9 ERA at game 18. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I understand that. Here's the thing. I am a nerd, and I think that's very apparent to everybody. I've dug, and I did it after the game, I dug through every single number I could find on Savant. Not expected numbers. I'm getting even nerdier than that. I wanted to know the DNA of his pitches. I wanted to know what changed within Josh Hader that has given way to this. And after extensive research and looking at everything, vertical break, horizontal break, spin rate, the usage percentage, the velo, everything I could find, the answer is nothing. The pitches that he was throwing last year and the pitches he is throwing this year are the same. There's no drop in velo. If anything, his slider went up a mile per hour. There is some slight changes, and when you're dealing with things that can measure it down to the .0001, you're going to see slight changes. But it's nothing that would give way to this drastic of a difference in his numbers. Going from the best ERA in the league, if I'm not mistaken, last year, or one of them, to 9. There's nothing. His vertical break hasn't changed much on either pitch. His horizontal break, if I'm not mistaken, got a hair bit better on his slider and basically didn't move on his sinker. And before someone says, oh, well, you're saying that in a way, no. I'm not going to pull some garbage and, not address an inch. I'm talking about like a .01 inch. They are minuscule differences. Spin rate on his slider, if I'm not mistaken, didn't move maybe 40 rotations per second, or rotations per minute. I think it went down by 40, but then his splitter went up, or his sinker, went up. There's nothing that should give way to this drastic of a difference, which is why, despite the fact that we're sitting here nearing game 20 and his ERA is at 9, that I'm just going to kind of confidently say, I think he's going to come out of it. This isn't like he lost 3 miles an hour in the offseason, or he lost 150 or 200 rotations on his slider or his fastball. They're just seeing it out of the hand better right now. And it's still a small enough sample size. Like, yeah, I understand. It's been a bit. He has not played 10 games yet. I am more than willing to just kind of say, I think it might just be bad luck, and the other team is for some reason out of the gate seeing it really well before I completely sell him up the river. Because I truly believe that Josh Hader is too good of a pitcher to just be solved. Especially when it's not being solved because something changed. So I'm hoping that with all of that being said, I can walk some people back from the edge, because I know this was the performance that sent a few people just straight over that cliff. And, that's valid, but, I think he's okay. And before you say something like, oh, well, then he just lost his control, his K rate has gone from 36 to 35, and his walk rate has gone from, I want to say, 13 to 10. So if anything, he's spotting the ball better. And his xFIP has gone down by almost a full run. So I've never touched grass in my life. And now the Astros will look to even the series tomorrow evening at the same time, 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central. The Astros will be sending Hunter Brown to the mound following a game where he couldn't get through the first inning and gave up 9 runs. So that'll be interesting. And the Braves are sending Ronaldo Lopez to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.